I've been working in oil spill response now for 28 years. It's challenging, it's interesting. You can actually solve problems with oil spill response. The difficulties aren't so great that they're insurmountable. The mere act, the mere process of writing a plan is interesting. We do field surveys, as you're seeing. We look at social surveys. We look at tailoring the responses for the shorelines and to the sea conditions. Every plan's different, every company is different. It's a challenge, it's interesting.
Off the northeast coast of Sakhalin Island in the Russian Far East, Sakhalin Energy is developing what is widely regarded as the world's largest integrated oil and gas project, Sakhalin 2. The company takes the issue of oil spills very seriously, and although their key concern is the prevention of any spills through the robust design of production facilities and continuous monitoring of project assets, they're also developing a comprehensive oil spill response plan that can be implemented in the unlikely event of an oil spill. Extensive mapping and logistics surveys of the island are key building blocks in the formation of an effective oil spill response strategy. The company is working both with leading experts and with the help of island communities, businesses and youth groups to conduct these surveys.
The main goal for our team is to find all possible access routes to the rivers or bays, meaning we try all possible routes. In this case, I'm talking about the Dagi River. The Dagi River is one of the richest fish rivers in the north of Sakhalin. At the moment, we're approximately 2 kilometers from the mouth. Here, our specialists are recording descriptions of the shoreline, vegetation and geomorphology.
On this part of the coastline, we're studying morphology and sediment structure. This piece of the coast is very important because it is part of the lagoon mouth. This channel connects Nevsky Lagoon and the Sea of Okhotsk. This area is rich with sea life, including fish, during spawning migration. Here we also see large gatherings of seals that feed on these fish.
This year we conducted aerial surveys of the coastal parts of the island, and we covered from the areas of Homsk all around the Krylion Peninsula, through the upper parts of Aniva Bay, Aniva Peninsula, through Tirpenia Bay, and the whole northeast coast and the northeast lagoons. All of the aerial video survey work that we've collected, we've captured onto DVD, and all of that can be loaded into ArcGIS. We have an extension software in ArcGIS that interprets the geographical coordinate stream on the DVD and lays the flight line of the helicopter on the map screen. You can then click your cursor anywhere you'd like to see footage, and on the opposing screen, that aerial video footage will come up. We can use this information for mapping the coastline, and in the response situation, you can easily look at what the characteristics of a shoreline are, what your access possibilities are, what the beach type is. It can also be used in the planning process for developing strategies of how we would protect an area.
One of the attractions of involving local communities and youth groups is that not only does the information that they collect make a valuable contribution to the database of information available for OSR mapping and logistics planning, but at the same time, these opportunities allow them to become more aware of and learn more about the ecology of the island and the environment they live in.
Boomerang is a group that is focused on youth education and in gathering ecological information. And they go out and take student excursions. This year, 2005, they were in the north of the island, and they're looking at flora and fauna as well as the physical characteristics of the shoreline.
This year, the sea expedition was to the north of Sakhalin. The group was able to learn about the unique vegetation and wildlife of northern Sakhalin. In addition to this, besides watching animals, we participated in a very important activity. We observed and studied the sensitivity of the shoreline to anthropogenic impacts. What's that? It is the monitoring of birds and marine mammals. It is the monitoring of the coastal vegetation, as well as beach type, and what type of substrate the beach is composed of. Is it sand or coarse pebble? Is the shoreline steep or low sloping? We gathered all this data into one general description of the coastal types.
Pilgrim is an NGO group in Yuzhno that sponsors youth education and environmental education, and they've worked with our group for the last 2 years.
В 2001 году нашей организацией была реализована программа.
In 2001, our organization started the Trillium One program.
Которая идет по сегодняшний день.
Primarily, this program includes comprehensive ecological monitoring of the coastline of Sakhalin.
Побережий Сахалина.
We investigated the coastline and studied the tidal zone and the amount and type of debris washed up by the sea. We determined the percentage of debris for a defined area and the percentage ratio of biological waste, such as seaweeds and shells. Also, we determined the colour and smell of water and air along the sea coast.
EcoShelf is an oil spill response contractor on the island. In 1999, they did some work for us on looking at roads and access in the northeast of the island. And recently, in the last year, they've been working with us to update that information, as well as assisting us with boat-based surveys on the rivers in the northeast area.
Often, Sakhalin Energy asks us to assist in performing additional research of the most sensitive places in the bays, rivers and other water bodies of northern Sakhalin, in order to be familiar with these places in case of an accidental oil spill. For instance, today we went up the Dagi River to provide support for the Sakhalin Energy team in the monitoring of the river channel and the river banks.
At the moment, we are compiling descriptive information for river sections located downstream of the pipeline crossings. We document morphological characteristics of the rivers. This includes width, depth, and current speed, as well as substrate characteristics and formation of the riverbanks, channel, and floodplain.全we describe the characteristics of the flora for the given area.
И даем характеристику растительности окружающей местности. All the detailed information collected from a variety of groups is brought back to Sakhalin Energy's head office, where it's loaded into the company's mapping and logistics database.
We downloaded the information from the GPS. Now we can put it on the topographical base, meaning on the map. Here we can now see one of the access roads. Here, as I pointed out with my cursor, is our access road. Now, so that people can see what the river looks like in this place, we can look through the control points and see what it actually looks like.
Mapping and logistical surveys are one of many building blocks in the formation of a comprehensive oil spill response plan. The participation of community groups and local businesses in gathering information also helps to raise local environmental awareness and to contribute local input to identify priority areas. While investment in technology and robust design and construction of all project facilities minimizes the risk of oil spills, Sakhalin Energy, as a responsible operator, realizes that continual updating of any emergency procedures is essential to accommodate the ever-changing environment that is Sakhalin Island.
We will never have all of the information, all of the streams, all of the shorelines. Shorelines change. This is a program that I'd like to see go for the duration of the project. continually getting new information, putting it on the GIS, sharing it, and building up a full geological and geomorphological and biological profile of the island.